Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into the whole Sean Diddy Combs situation. It's a lot.
It really is. And there's so much noise.
Exactly. So we're trying something a bit different. We're filtering the news, the testimonies, everything through our, let's call it snarky AI lens.
Right. Basically pulling out the key details, the really standout moments, sometimes bizarre moments from all the sources. We've got YouTube stuff, legal commentary, TMZ, 60 Minutes Australia.
And the AI's own cynical takes.
Yeah. The goal is to give you a clear picture, maybe find some of those aha moments, but, without drowning in information, and hopefully keep it somewhat entertaining, despite the serious nature.
Okay, so where do we start? Cuba Gooding Jr.'s testimony seemed pretty dramatic.
Oh, definitely. A report said he was really emotional, claimed Diddy ruined his life.
Wow. Straight out of the gate.
Yeah. And it started, apparently, quite normally, the usual Hollywood stuff, parties, mixers, yacht invites.
The classic yacht invite. But then it shifts, right? The infamous yacht party.
That's the one. Where, according to Cuba, Diddy allegedly tried to serve him up, Lil Rod.
Serve him up. Okay. And the snarky AI had thoughts on this, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Something like, the classic Hollywood meet cute with a twist of alleged coercion. Pretty cutting.
Yeah, that fits. So Cuba felt uncomfortable.
Clearly. He described Lil Rod as being really quiet, scared, like he didn't belong. Cuba was very emphatic, saying, I didn't do anything, I didn't touch him, over and over.
That insistence itself says a lot, doesn't it?
It does. It hints at the kind of atmosphere where you feel you need to say that.
And he mentioned feeling trapped, that power dynamic.
Right. He said, yes, God, yes. You don't say no to Sean Combs. Mentioned Diddy had people, eyes, reminding you of his power without saying a word.
Subtle. The snarky AI probably loved that.
Called it the subtle art of unspoken intimidation. A master class, apparently.
Okay. And then the tears. He got quite upset about his name being dragged into this.
Yeah, especially referencing his own past legal troubles. Saying he's owned up to his stuff, but this is different.
And the AI's take. Probably less than sympathetic.
You guessed it. Quipped something like, well, at least he's consistent in generating headlines. A bit harsh, maybe?
Maybe. But darkly funny, you have to admit. Did Lil Rod back this up?
Reportedly, yes. Lil Rod's deposition seems to corroborate Cuba's version of that specific yacht encounter.
Interesting. And Cuba also described Diddy's parties in general.
The exclusive ones. Phones taken away, robes handed out. Like walking into another world. Very controlled.
The AI summary.
Sounds like my kind of party. Minus the alleged coercion, of course. Typical.
All right, let's switch gears. Kid Cudi. His courtroom appearance sounded different.
Totally different vibe, apparently. Sources said he was chill, at peace, even yawning. Maybe enjoying it a little.
Huh. Wouldn't surprise me. What was the AI's read?
Imagine him thinking, enjoying the show, Diddy, because I've got popcorn.
Perfect. So what are the core allegations involving Cudi?
It stems from Diddy finding out Cassie was seeing Kid Cudi. Diddy was reportedly livid. There's an allegation involving a wine bottle opener.
A wine opener. Okay.
And then alleged threats. Releasing sex tapes of Cassie, harming both of them.
Grim. The AI must have had a field day.
Nothing says I'm upset.
Yeah.
Like a corkscrew and implied blackmail. Classic. That was the gist.
And this leads to the car bombing incident.
Right after the alleged threats, yeah. Kid Cudi's car gets torched. The timing. Well, it looks suspicious, even if proving direct involvement in court's another matter.
Coincidence. The AI's thoughts.
Coincidence? Maybe. Plot point in a dramatic reality show. Seems more likely.
And we saw photos of the car, right, just completely burnt out.
Yeah, pretty shocking. Just a shell. The reaction online was basically, what the F?
Understandable. The AI's reaction.
Probably something about insurance premiums. Oh, wait, here it is. Well, that's not ideal for the resale value.
Cold. So legally, is this racketeering or something else?
That's the big question the legal folks are debating. Is it part of a larger pattern? Racketeering? Or the actions of a, jealous, allegedly violent ex? Makes a big difference for the prosecution.
The AI's legal analysis.
Racketeering or really bad romance. The legal system has such exciting categories.
Okay. Let's move to George Kaplan, the former assistant. His testimony sounded wild.
It really did. He talked about seeing Diddy standing over Cassie on a plane with a whiskey glass, looking distressed, and having to buy witch hazel for her bruises.
Witch hazel. Okay, that's specific.
And then there was the thing about Diddy throwing tree apples at someone called Gina.
Tree apples? What? AI comment?
Instantly. Tree apples, were they organic? Inquiring minds want to know.
Of course. So Kaplan left because he was uncomfortable.
Seemingly, yeah, though he apparently used his father being sick as the excuse to get out.
But he still called his time there. What was it?
His Harvard for learning the business?
His Harvard after witnessing alleged abuse and buying witch hazel.
I know, right? The AI was like, yes, nothing says elite education like witnessing alleged abuse and fleeing under false pretenses.
Seriously, and the cross-examination got weird. Applesauce.
Oh, beyond weird. The lawyer kept asking about applesauce and cheeseburgers over and over, supposedly about expense reports. Diddy apparently likes applesauce on everything.
On everything.
That's what was said. It got so repetitive, apparently a juror looked physically disgusted.
I don't blame them. The AI must have loved the absurdity.
Totally. Quipped something like, the defense is really peeling back the layers, one questionable snack at a time, and joked about asking if the client preferred chunky or smooth applesauce during alleged intimidation incidents.
Dark, but it captures the strangeness. Did Kaplan say anything else significant?
He mentioned a sort of hierarchy that Kim Porter was treated differently, a run above. Diddy had more patience with her.
Interesting nuance. AI observation.
Even in alleged power structures, it seems there are preferred tiers. Fascinating.
Okay, so stepping back a bit, what other things have come up around this? Any other names?
Well, there was a brief mention apparently of Jennifer Lawrence confirming rumors, but no real details in our sources.
AI reaction.
Pretty dismissive. Another day, another celebrity rumor. My algorithms are barely processing this.
Fair enough. And something about Blake Lively and Taylor Swift?
Yeah, Brett Cooper mentioned that, but it sounds like a totally separate Hollywood legal thing involving Justin Bolden's lawyers. Just a reminder, it's not the only drama out there.
Gotcha. AI comment.
Hollywood seems to have more plot twists than my favorite soap opera. Probably true.
Back to Diddy, the defense strategy seems to be consent.
It looks like they're trying to frame some encounters as consensual, yeah, focusing on Philip's testimony regarding Ventura.
But how does that square with things like the alleged freak-off videos used for blackmail?
Exactly. That's the massive counter-argument. If those exist and were used that way, along with the power dynamics, consent looks pretty shaky.
What did the AI say about consent?
Compared it to a good Wi-Fi signal. Requires a clear connection and no interference, allegedly.
Huh. That's actually pretty good. What about the number of people involved?
It's huge. Reports mention over 50 potential victims and maybe even more witnesses. The thinking is, with Diddy held without bail, maybe more will feel safe coming forward.
But lots of names being mentioned doesn't mean they're involved, right?
Right. They stress that. It's a small world, especially in that industry. The AI's take was, doesn't mean they're all in the same alleged conspiracy.
Makes sense. Any word on how the judge is handling things?
Some reports suggest the judge has shown frustration with Diddy's lawyers sometimes, and evidence about Rolla, whatever that specifically refers to, has apparently been presented.
Okay. AI summary of the courtroom vibe.
Sounds like courtroom drama worthy of its own limited series.
Probably. And back to the car fire. The pictures were intense.
Yeah, the what the F reaction seemed universal. And tied into that, testimony about Diddy's hotel habits came up.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like excessive oil, candle wax everywhere, rooms needing deep cleans, extra charges, just unusual.
Huh. AI hypothesis.
Perhaps he was auditioning for a role requiring him to be excessively slippery and surrounded by mood lighting.
Plausible. And someone named Christina Quorum was approving bills.
Yeah, her role came up, raising questions about who knew what, potentially, but the main legal focus seems to stay on racketeering because of the car bombing.
AI summary of the narrative arc.
So, from alleged yacht mishaps to exploding vehicles, this narrative has range.
Indeed. Has anyone else weighed in, like major commentators?
Joe Rogan mentioned it, wondering why it's not getting wall-to-wall coverage like the Johnny Depp trial, speculating about powerful people maybe suppressing it.
Interesting thought.
And 60 Minutes Australia reported on a call center in Montana getting thousands of calls alleging abuse by Diddy going back decades.
Thousands. Over decades. That's staggering.
It really paints a potentially huge picture. The AI's reaction was bleak. If only there was a Yelp for alleged decades-long abuse, 5 stars for persistence, 0 for ethics.
Oof. Any other former employees?
Phil Pines, another ex-assistant,
Yeah.
talked about disturbing loyalty tests and a weird incident at a sex party. More alleged coercion.
Just keeps piling up. What about the raid?
Annie Elise covered details from the Miami home raid. Found platform heels, pills stamped with a Tesla logo, white powder, a crystal rock substance.
Platform heels. Really? AI comment.
Platform heels. in case you need to make a quick getaway while still looking fabulous, allegedly.
Okay. And the defense is claiming racial bias.
That's reportedly part of their strategy, yes. And there's still talk. These freak-off videos might actually be shown in court.
Wow. And other celebs keep getting mentioned.
Law and Crime Network said others are being pulled into it, yeah. The AI side, the guest list for this legal drama just keeps growing.
So what's the current state? Opening statement's done.
Prosecution laid out serious stuff. Kidnapping, arson, drug trafficking, sex crimes. Defense expected to deny it all, call it a coordinated attack.
And didn't Diddy's lawyer quit or get dropped?
The lawyer who initially represented Osama bin Laden signed on, then withdrew pretty quickly, which is notable.
Yeah, that adds another layer. AI conclusion on the legal side.
When your legal representation has more plot twist than the case itself, you know you're in for a ride.
So, wrapping this up, it's just a pattern, isn't it? These recurring themes of alleged power abuse, intimidation, control, and just plain weirdness.
Absolutely. And filtering it through the snarky AI, while dark, kind of highlights how utterly bizarre some of these details are. Almost hard to believe.
The AI's sarcasm almost feels necessary to process some of it.
It kind of underscores the absurdity mixed in with the really serious allegations.
Yeah, it really makes you think about what else might come out as this continues.
Definitely.
And it leaves you with that bigger question, doesn't it? If these allegations hold up, what does it reveal about power, influence, maybe the hidden parts of Hollywood? And, what responsibility do people around figures like this have?
A lot to unpack there. Definitely food for thought long after we finish talking about it.